I was at school, I told two things about myself as a kid. One was an absolute lie and one was the truth. The lie was that Benny Elias, the Balmain Tigers player, is actually my uncle. It's not true. And the second thing, which was true, is that my dad was the person who brought in the Donkey Kong games. So all the kids used to crowd around me and see the latest gadget I had. And it was awesome having a dad in the importing industry. I made quite a lot of mistakes in my life, and one of the biggest was to go to university, which and learn and do a law degree at the University of New South Wales. To my mum's absolute pleasure, I ended up completing my law degree, right? And I'm actually qualified and legally trained. However, it didn't help me, and here's why. 2-3 years into my degree, my big brother Jason, right, was looking shocking. He's 10 years older than me. I'm one of 3 boys and I'm the baby. Okay? My eldest brother Jason was looking shocking. He was in Baker and McKenzie. Anyone heard of that law firm, Baker and McKenzie? Yeah? And one of the top firms. And he had the best job. He was about to make partner. And he hated it. And he was getting great money, but swapping his time for money. And he had to work long hours. And he's like... eventually he quit and started his own business recruiting lawyers, and now he has his own company. But I knew I had the advantage of having a time machine 10 years in the future to see what would happen to me. So I knew I needed something different. I needed some way of making money on my own terms, not through someone else giving me a handout at their pleasure. So I started importing. So I started selling on eBay, and I started in an interesting way. I saw some people selling some items. First I bought a DVD that I wanted. I bought my first interaction with eBay was a purchase. There was a TV show I loved as a kid. It was called Monkey Magic. Right? Everyone know Monkey Magic? Yeah. I love that show, and still today I love that show. So I bought a DVD, and then I was thinking, wow, that guy just made $25 for not doing much at all. So I'm like, okay, I've got to start selling on eBay. Where do I find my products? Where do I source my products to sell on eBay? It was really easy. I just found other eBay people, bought their products off them, made the ads pretty, used a shot with different angles, used a program on the internet to make a Photoshop of it, to make it look pretty, changed the title, added some text, started my auctions at $1 so that I have a big audience, and then I ended up making 20-30% on top. Wow, fantastic way to make money, except the problem was I had to rely on other eBay suppliers. And that was no way to start a business, waiting for other people on eBay. Eventually, I became a power seller using that technique. And I found other Aussies in Australia who had businesses that would sell their goods to me wholesale. So I started buying goods wholesale in Australia. But still, the margins weren't tasty enough. Right? There was money made, but it wasn't the type of money that could get me out of my future prison sentence in a law firm. So it ended up being good money, but I needed some way of breaking through. So I said to my Dad, what can I do to get more, like, better margins, actually make more money importing from Hong Kong and from China? He said, yeah, go there. Go straight there. So within a week, I hopped on a plane and I went to China. And I was blown away. Hands up here who's been to China to one of the trade fairs and has been there before. Can I see a show of hands? Yeah, what was it like?
You can't describe it.
You can't describe it.
It's massive.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what's in store for you guys. Now, I went to China, and I went to Beijing. I did part of my legal studies and studied Chinese contract law in Beijing. I went to Guangzhou, where the Canton Fair is. I've been to Hong Kong, Dongguan City, Nanjing, Shanghai, where our offices are at the moment, Shenzhen, Suzhou, Xi'an, where the Terracotta Warriors are. And I also went to Yiwu. Now, Yiwu is an amazing place. This is one of the best kept secrets in China that I'm going to reveal to you right now. There are wholesale markets in Yiwu, which I will recommend for a lot of you people here, where you can, instead of ordering vast quantities from the factories and having to wait, the goods are ready there at a slight markup, and you can start importing those today into Australia. And that's how you get started with a small amount of money. You go to that place. That's probably one of the best tips I'll give you tonight. Now, I've actually, when I look at it, I think I've been to more... I travel a lot, and I think I've been to more Chinese cities than actually Australian cities. And for different reasons. Sometimes I've visited factories, suppliers, trade events, trade shows, and different exhibitions. After all said and done, I imported not just 1, 2, 3 products. I imported about 100 different products from China. The first was one of my own branded... I had this brand, Samurai, and that was my own brand that I brought in from China. A DVD player. I sold pedometers, which count how many calories you've burned and how many steps you've taken. And also alcoholic breath testers, which was fantastic because the first shipment I had to test myself. So here I was, like late at night, with a bottle of vodka, blowing to one or two of these machines to see that they worked. Right? Eventually I outsourced that job because I got too drunk on the job. And something in common with these products though. I was getting the margins that would come with China, but I wasn't doing extremely well because there was a limitation. And that was I was only sending goods by air. Right? And I was limited to what I could only bring in small items like this or like this. I couldn't bring big things like a projector. And that meant I was limited because I didn't know how to do it yet. I didn't yet have the know-how. And the other thing, I had this dream that I knew that the big players in the import industry use this thing. Can anyone tell me, for 100 points, what this is on the screen?
Container.
A shipping container. Can anyone tell me what size of shipping container that is? 20 foot. A 20-foot container. I was like, wow, I can't wait till the day that I can import my own full shipping container. That was my dream. A full container. I don't know why it is about it. It was just cool, right? That was an achievement. And then in about 3 months, I actually brought in my own full container of items. I ended up bringing in pocket bikes, right? Which are these little motorcycles about yay high that you sit on. You look absolutely ridiculous, by the way, in them. But they sold great. So I could fit 180 in a container, and that's what I brought in. And I was like, wow, that's a 20-foot. But I'll never, ever, ever be able to get a 40-foot container. And guess what? 3 months later I did. And then within 3 months I was bringing in 3 or 4 of them a month. And not just the 40-foot containers, but the high Q, which is the third type of container, which is slightly bigger. And they have 2 types, so that some items will fit differently into different items, so that they fit better. So eventually I had to have a warehouse. I was filling up my parents' garage with all these products. And there came a point where they just weren't excited by that anymore. They saw how successful, they were very proud of me, but Brendan, go get a warehouse. So that enabled me to actually grow massively. And that's a few pictures of me in my warehouse. That's a picture of me in my office. And this is an interesting point. Anyone...